going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome in. Good morning, everyone. Make sure I get everything all up and running. Good morning. Welcome in. How you doing, Steve? Oh, we're still pushing pre-market. That's quite impressive. We had a phenomenal earnings from pretty much all the Mag 7. Google went up 7%, Amazon also 4%. I think Meta, we had 6% drop, and then Microsoft was flat. But initially that one was also up to 445, so it was a nice little $20 push. Think another reason that we're pushing is because Powell is remaining on the board. He is still retiring, but he's not leaving the Fed. He's still going to be a decision maker, a policy maker within the Fed, which is good. We'll review the trade I had last night, and then we'll get into the IB for today. Do have some new background music on. What's going on, Patrick? How you doing? Pip T, what's going on? What's going on, Barreto? I heard the first 8 viewers and chatters get a 25K Lucid Flex. If only that were the case. I should reach out to Lucid to see if I can get some accounts to give away on stream. That'd be cool. Gotta change this back to night driving. That one's better. Yeah, night driving is definitely the best one. So is it the first 5 chats? That one would have to be throughout the stream, but that would be a good idea. I don't mind that at all. Okay, for our data today, we are looking at a Thursday. I'm going to pull up the IB first. We'll be looking at a Thursday for the IB. Custom Thursday instead of Wednesday. We want to see the high form first, ideally. If a low form source is pretty low odds on SPY, QQQ might be a little better. Not much better. Thursdays aren't usually that good either for the IB. Yesterday was a decent read on the market, just no entry on the IB. I did end up taking some plays into the afternoon after we had that pullback to 50% of the IB. Held longs on both SPY and Qs, and then we had that little front run up to FOMC. Did not play FOMC itself. I had a baseball game yesterday, so I couldn't have. What's going on, Steve? Good morning. Spate, Cherish, Caleb, how you doing? Mr. Smith, data end of month pre-May day. JPOW gone, data. Yeah, we do have a significant amount of data this week with all the earnings we had yesterday. They did decently well for earnings. I think what's more important is how are we going to read the market going into no longer having Powell. So Powell is done. That was his last FOMC meeting. That was his last FOMC rate hike. He didn't do anything, obviously, and we can go and bring up CME Group for that. CME Fed Watch. And with everything that he discussed yesterday, it did essentially nothing. This may be moved by 1%, if that. This is all the way until June of next year, June of 2027, before we even start getting below 50-50. So next year, we're actually pricing in rate hikes again up to 400, maybe even 425. We go all the way to December of 2027. It's a pretty even spread. Obviously, that's very deep into the future. October, maybe September. October is the first one. October of 2027, so a whopping year and a half out is how long it's going to take us for another set of rate cuts, maybe even rate hikes. But for essentially the next 9 months, 10 months, we're not expecting anything. We're not anticipating any rate cuts. We're not anticipating any rate hikes. All the blame from Powell yesterday was put on Trump with this press conference. I'm not sure how many of you guys watched it. Essentially saying that Trump is the reason we had everything going smoothly. COVID, he still refers to that every once in a while, saying that that was a big wrench thrown in anyone's plans, quite obviously. But the main point from his meeting yesterday was that Trump is putting the market at a constant state of fear and greed, or a constant state of volatility that is preventing them from being able to anticipate rate cuts or rate hikes. Specifically, the issue that we have going on with Iran, you can call it a war. People love throwing that term around. I wouldn't really refer to it as a war because it's not the entire, it's not a world war. It's a conflict, yes, but it's not a war in terms of the U.S. is backed behind producing infantry, producing people to go to war, drafts, whole 9 yards there. So it's just a conflict, but that's essentially what Powell blamed yesterday, blamed his past 2 months on, really the past year, saying that Trump has put the market at a state of constant volatility that has prevented them from accurately adjusting rates or being able to predict where rates should be going. Now, for today, we do have an outside day on both SPY and Qs. So if we go and mark out previous day's high on SPY, yet again, we're at all-time highs, by the way. SPY is $1 off all-time highs. Qs is currently at all-time highs. We don't have any resistance from here on up. From here on out, here to any more upside, we don't have any resistance whatsoever. What we do have is psych levels, so we can play off of 27.6. You can see that we had a nice rejection off that last night. Right at 8:30, we hit 27.602. We swept over it by 20 points, and we rejected all the way back down to 27.2. Swept off of 27.2, right back up to 27.5. Very important that you guys understand how psych levels play off of each other, especially if price is trending in one direction. If you are at like 27.550, for example, which we somewhat just hit right there, you're either going back up to 27.6 or you're going back down to 27.5. I know that sounds pretty self-explanatory. It's very rare that you chop between psych levels. So even yesterday, it was a pretty choppy range, but you can see we went from 27.2. It had a sweep below 27.2, closed over it, and then pushed up to 27.3, had a sweep over 27.3, back down to 27.2, back up to 27.3, back down to 27.1, back up to 27.3, back down to 27.1, and then we ended up going to 27.5, had some resistance there last night, and then all the way up to 27.6, rejected, and so on. When price is trending, it likes to reject at psych levels, doesn't like to continue going through psych levels. Usually what you get is you get some kind of retracement or a little sweep, and then it proceeds higher. When we're in the larger picture, macro term of psych levels, like we are right now, price really, really likes to push from one significant psych level. So we're looking at 27,000, for example. Really likes to push from that all the way up to the next one. So 27,000 to 28,000, 28,000 to 29,000, or it rejects back down to, I don't know, 26 maybe. If we have some more conflict coming out, pushes back up, pushes back down, pushes back up, and so on. I know it's self-explanatory that price goes up and down, but all I'm getting at is that when you are in a range, when you're trending, when price is going in one direction, look for each 100-point increment, look for each 250-point increment, look for each 500-point increment, and then each 1,000-point increment. MES, it's pretty much just every 100 points. This one is 1/4 of the size of NQ. So 1,000-point increments still very impactful. 7,000 when we hit that weeks ago now. If I can go down there, you can see all the resistance that we had at 7,000. It chopped for 2 days, and then we had the continuation up out of 7,000. Then 5,000s, then 10,000s, yeah. How do you relate baseball into your trading ideas since it's part of your life? I wouldn't really say I do. It's all relatively the same thing. I was actually just explaining to them. One of them's probably in here right now. I'll comment after I say this. I was just explaining this to him after practice 2 days ago. For life in general, just being consistent is the biggest driving factor to being successful. So if you can't put up with the bad times that come through, so I went on a drawdown period for the last 2 weeks of March like 16th to March 31st. The IB wasn't working. I couldn't really read the market that well. Hadn't had a payout for 3 weeks, and I got one last week from Lucid. Should hopefully get another one this week from Tradeify today or tomorrow. If you can't handle the bad that comes with trading, you're not going to be successful with it. Same with anything else. If you just want to give up and be mediocre and roll over when things get bad, it's not going to go well for you. You're just going to end up working any old normal job. So trading has a lot of ups and downs with it. As long as you're consistent and show up every day and do the work, back tests. I mean, I used to trade for like 12 hours a day. Not trade, but work on trading. Try to figure out a strategy. Try to do, I don't know, a whole heap of things. It took me 3 years before I started making money. How you doing? Good morning. I haven't gone over the pre-market plans yet. Not yet. I went over them earlier this week, and I realized why am I doing it at 9 a.m. when we still have another 30 minutes before open. So for 15 minutes isn't too bad, so we can get into it now. For the IB today, we took a look at that. I don't know why I keep getting logged out of edgeful. Just a second. For the IB today, SPY and Qs, we ideally want to see the high form first. The low forming first doesn't have that significant of a stat, 66 and 63%. What we do want to see is a outside day fill. So we have a bullish outside day. Price is gapped up above previous day's range. We have a 70% chance to reverse back down and hit previous day's high. Previous day's high is 713.61 on SPY. The FOMC wick for both of them and then it is 663.46. The only reason that we might not go and take that level is all the earnings that we had last night propping us up. Along with the earnings, we could have some kind of continuation off of Powell remaining with the Fed. Again, he's not staying Fed president. He's not going to continue to hike rates, push rates. He's just staying within the Fed. He's going to be on their board. Not yet disclosed which president or which branch of the Fed. I think there's 12 of them. It's not disclosed which one he's going to be with. You can go and look at Fed presidents and then maybe do a process of elimination, try to see which one's on their way out, which one's staying in. A lot more than 12. Oh, these are vice chair and president. Okay. 1, 2. Oh, that's a vice chair. Governor. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there is 12. My guess is he'll probably go to Atlanta. Just looking at this very quick, this is the only interim. He'll probably go to Atlanta if they don't fill that spot. These are the 12 Fed presidents. We have Boston, San Francisco, Chicago, Cleveland, Minneapolis, Dallas, St. Louis, Philadelphia, Kansas City, New York, and Atlanta. I imagine this is the only one that he would not qualify for, but best fit. This is the nut job Kashkari that always caused the market to move multiple percentages when he spoke a couple years ago. And then these are we have the chair, obviously Powell, vice chair, Bowman, another vice chair, Jefferson, and then the 4 governors, and then we have the 12 presidents. He's going to swap out with a president. He's not staying on the board as a significant member. He's going to an individual branch, which essentially has the same job qualifications. Dashboard for Lucid isn't any different now. They're right here. Good morning, Nicolo. Previous day's high on London 50 line on Qs. Let's take a look. They do. Almost perfectly. That's nice to see. That wick after 4 p.m. close, it was all in earnings. We had a lot of earnings yesterday. I think we're going to get a continuation up from pre-market. Ideally, I want to see that previous day's high get hit, fill the outside day stat, and then bounce from there. Outside days aren't all that significant. Inside bars are a lot better. They're like 80, almost 90%. Outside days, 70%. Still likely that we get a reversal back down, but 30% chance that we don't. Wouldn't you mark the high from before 4 p.m.? That would be previous day's 50. Previous day's range is New York to New York. This is the... Oh, you're right, actually. So we'd be reversing all the way down there. My bad. Thank you, David. Got my time wrong. I looked at 4 o'clock instead of 15:45. I got you. What's going on, Kyle? How you doing? Saw you took yesterday's Globex M&Q. Could you advise the reasons, please? Absolutely. So I took it because, and this one was a little tricky. MES hit 25% of the IB. I know I don't usually take 25%, but we also had a lot of news and a lot of reasons to continue pushing. We had all the data from earnings. We had SPY with a bullish IB, Qs with a bullish IB. Thursday nights IBs are very good on the stats. We go to IB by rejection, we'll go into MNQ, and we'll do the daily time frame. So Thursday nights we had a 75% chance to go and take the high. pretty good odds there. SPY, I think, was a little bit higher as well, a little bit lower, sorry, 72. Two very good stats for that Globex IB. SPY was riding 25% for a while. You can see we had a bounce at 6:30, 6:45, 7 o'clock, 7:15, 7:30. So I went and took the trade on M&Q. And I know Andre and I were talking about this yesterday, about me not doing this. But again, we had a lot of data. And we were also riding right at 27.5. So I anticipated a break of that with all the news that we had, which it did. It just needed some time to consolidate. And then I did not hold it all the way up to 27.6. The risk on this was $240. So it was a little bit better. And I missed 10 points to the upside. I sold it just before that 8 o'clock candle came open. I sold it at, I want to say 757. I typed it out. Pipty said, how about those moves on NQ last night? I loved them. How's your psychology been switching to the 50Ks? Nothing has changed, really. Not much has changed. The 25Ks give you a lot less wiggle room, but it's all the same in terms of numbers. So if you've noticed, Pipty, yesterday, I said on that Globex trade, my risk was 30 points on 4 M&Q, which is $240. That's the same as risking, which I was doing before, 120 on a 25K account. As we know, we're within that 60 to 70% win rate. 50K account is 2,000 in drawdown, so we just double it. Our risk is now 240 instead of 120. And it's all the same stats. Oh. What 11 o'clock one are you talking about? Oh, yeah. That one I didn't take. The only reason that I anticipated longs for FOMC, which it did somewhat pan out right at that FOMC open, was I was anticipating a bullish send-off for Powell. Oh, actually, I'm looking at the wrong time frame. I'm looking at earnings instead of the FOMC. Yeah, we did have a bullish move on FOMC. I didn't play it. I wasn't in my office. I was at a baseball game. I was anticipating, which we did get it after hours with all the earnings and Powell staying on the board of directors for the Fed. Powell getting a bullish send-off. He's done a rather good job handling the market and all the conditions that have been thrown at him over the past 8 years. I think he started 2 years before COVID, or the year before COVID. So he's done a pretty good job for the past 7 to 8 years. Market is going to have a pleasant send-off. That was the only reason I was saying you could go long prior to FOMC. Sorry about that.
Mr. Zink.
What's going on, James?
How are you, brother?
How are you back with Lucid Max? You don't have Lucid Live. I unfortunately lost the Lucid Live last week. I had the post payout blow. Got rather unlucky with some of the trades too.
What do you focus on at the moment then, Zink? What accounts you trading today?
Still the same ones, Lucid Max. I am $1,600 off of going back to live.
Nice.
They have a really cool They only I should see how many people are. See if I can find it. How many traders have access to Lucid Max? I don't think it's going to be as simple as that. Lucid Max is invite only. Okay, so there's probably, this program's only been out a month, so there's probably a couple hundred traders using it. I can't imagine there's that many people that have moved live and then also lost the ones. I lost on Globex IB, and then I lost on New York IB SS, and then I tilted for 2 days and ended up losing the accounts over the course of 3. I just didn't put any risk management into it. Boils
They
when you
gave you
look down bets.
the balances were still quite small, though, Zinc, I must say.
Yeah, it's partly my fault because I read the way that the bonus worked differently. So I sized up when I thought I had 2,000 in drawdown per account. I only had 1,000. So I lost 240 on one of the IB trades, and it put me all the way down to 800 or 760 for drawdown left. The balance for anyone that does move live with Lucid or is interested in moving live with Lucid, your bonus that you get when you reach, I'll pull that screen up again because it's pretty difficult to explain without having the table behind me. Lucid trading. So go into Lucid. Frequently asked questions, Lucid Live. New live structure. So these are, when you move live with Lucid, unlike some other firms, you don't get moved live with the balance that you made during the sim funded phase. I had 25K account, so I got moved live with $1,000 in drawdown. I could only trade 4 micros. I don't know why it said 2 to 20. Your live target is 1,100. Once you reach that 1,100, you get a $1,000 bonus. So that's why I did. I thought that once you hit 1,100, the $1,000 got added into the account. So I was reading it as 2,100 when I only had a 1,100. Actually 1,000 because the extra 100 is their relief buffer. I only had 1,000 in drawdown. I thought I had 2,000, so I doubled the risk on a trade. The bonus payout is out of pocket for them. The bonus does not go into the account. They send it directly to you. So that was my $4,000 payout last week from Lucid. Did I end up going with daily or 5-day? I got the 5-day zoo. The daily ones don't really give you, it's not, I don't really like daily payouts because it drives you to push for the daily payout, if that makes sense. But I'd rather trade consistently over 5 days than try to hit a big couple of days in a row and then take the max payout. But the daily payouts are only 1,000 on the 50Ks. And it doesn't change whether you take the payout on a daily basis or you take it on a weekly basis. So if it takes you 3 days to get that $1,000 balance, you can still only take 1,000 versus if it takes you 3 days to get 2,000, then you trade for another 2 days and you get that max payout from the bigger ones. James can't use Lucid, sadly.
Yeah, I would love to. I actually mentioned that to Austin. I was like, I got some top 1 futures and traded for instant funded. I was like, unfortunately, the South African can't trade with Lucid, so what we can get.
We do have that outside day. It's a 70% stat that we get that move down.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty hefty, I mean, we're halfway there right now, so I guess I can't sell that too short. It's a pretty hefty move down. Previous day's high is at 661, another $3, 120 points lower on Qs, and then another 25 points lower on SPY, which it's making the move there now. Funny enough.
Yeah, pretty big range though today. Pre-market high to low.
A very big range.
Yeah.
We might gap fill. I don't know.
What do you like initially at the moment, Zing?
I'd like to see it bounce right now. I want to see it move up to 667. Take out those data highs from yesterday.
Sure.
But at the same time, we're at all-time highs again. So going up is a little problematic. And what do we expect for a continuation up there?
Sure.
No resistance.
Meta is down 9% from their earnings yesterday.
Yeah, Google's up by 8%, 7.5%.
Yeah.
And Amazon was the other one. Amazon's up 4%. We should be getting, I think we're like 2 months off of Tesla getting an IPO. Not Tesla, SpaceX.
SpaceX, yes.
It's relatively soon, I think. Here comes that outside day stat. Another 80 cents. Did not expect that to come in that fast.
Yeah, down to 368.
4 minutes into open.
Yeah, wow, this is a NQ. This
very
is a
fast $4 opening candle.
140 point pawn NQ.
Today, London IBM and Q was a perfect trade. Let's see. 3 o'clock. Is it still behind by an hour? No, it's lined up now. It's all fixed. Let's see. Where was our... There's our London low, London high. Yeah, look at that. Nice retracement and then perfect push up. Good job. We are 20 cents off of taking that previous day's high. Also going to be the gap fill wall dive you were just asking about. There is almost. Actually, it did take it. Previous day's high was 661.68, and we just hit 661.66. Also, just got the gap fill. Very good. Nike said, I'm using Tradeify Sim Funded. Tradeify and Lucid are about the same. They are my two favorite firms in the space right now. 100%. Well, maybe don't do that. You can still watch the trade with having a limit order set. What I usually do is I set, this may be bad, this may not be. I like to set my limit order. Last night, for instance, I had my limit order set on 27,455. I got filled, 458, sorry. filled on NQ, and then I set my stop loss and I set my TP, and then I got up and just watched it on my phone, checked it every couple of minutes. But I was in that trade for, let's see, Hey, I still struggle doing that too. A question for anyone that didn't hear that or see that. Being at the chart and getting out early or not letting your trade develop, I still do the same thing, because this is why I like walking away. That was a 22-minute trade last night. 4 micros, $276. Take the trade and then either swap to a different tab where you can't manipulate the trade. So I like to, if you guys notice on stream, I like to enter on MNQ and then I'll go and watch the QQQ chart, and I won't do anything to the MNQ trade. And then I know saying this, even then I still go and exit the trade earlier. I move the stop loss, move the TP. If you are actively watching the trade the entire time, you're going to be more inclined to
do something,
kind of screw yourself over with it, if that makes sense.
Do something you shouldn't.
Like, you're going to click on the screen because you want to be, yeah, exactly, James.
Yep. We've all been there, bro.
Look at that from Steve. Done for the day, short MNQ. Thanks, gents. Edgeful and these streams are the best. It happens. Good day. Jimmy said, Zink, what accounts do you like at Tradeify? I like the 50K growth accounts or the 50K select. I still really like the 25K accounts. I really like the 25K accounts, just so everyone is aware. I'm not using those anymore. But for me personally, I have developed enough with trading that I can start sizing up a little bit with the accounts. I'm getting more comfortable with adding size into positions. Again, like last night, I had a 4 MNQ trade. A couple months ago, the max that would have been was 2 MNQ. Previous day's high, retest to go higher. It's a difficult read, because typically for FOMC, whatever the close of FOMC is, you inverse that 80% of the time on the following day. FOMC closed flat, so I don't know what the read for that would be. We had FOMC, came out 659.70. We ended up closing the day at 661.67, so slightly bullish. And then we had all those earnings after hours. We went up to 663, went down to 656, went all the way back up to 667. Thanks for the report, guys. Good gap fill trade. Awesome to see. Outside days, one of my favorite stats to see. Gap fill by size, I honestly didn't even look at this morning. So partly my fault there. We only had a 23% chance to fill it, so I'm glad I didn't look at it. But outside days and inside bars, the two that I will always talk about, if you were within previous day's range, that's your inside bar stat. You have an 89% chance of taking previous day's high or previous day's low. For outside days, and you can even refine this down to the weekday if you wanted to, these have about a 70% chance that we reverse. For a Thursday, we actually had a 100% reversal chance from back down. Obviously, that's not 100% all the time, but of the 5 bullish days we've had, all 5 have come down and filled that outside day stat. So very nice on that. These are the 2 edgeful reports that I use the most. 100%. Inside bars, outside days. Obviously, I use IB by rejection, the IB trade itself, but these 2 stats give you a beautiful bias into open every market, or every market day, every day. And you're either reading, are we outside of previous day's range? Are we over previous day's high, under previous day's low? If so, that's an outside day stat. Are we inside of previous day's range? Are we inside of previous day's high and previous day's low? If so, that is an inside bar stat.
YM's trying to hold up, whereas ES and NQ tipping over.
Yeah, Q's with a $5 opening red candle. I haven't seen that in a very long time. None of them are old enough to trade. They're all in high school still.
Who's that? Your...
Yeah, someone in the Discord is asking if any of the high schoolers trade.
Sure. Yeah, you have to be 18, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to teach anyone how to trade. That's what I do every day. James as well.
Yeah.
This market can't be too bearish, but today they look weak. It's a really difficult read on this is why I don't typically like to mix higher time frames and lower time frames. Higher time frame is remarkably bullish, and if you're familiar with how patterns usually play out, this is just consolidation to most likely go higher. We had a run of 12%, had to stop at some point. Now we're consolidating sideways, most likely for another run. I say this stat all the time, 80% of the time price is trending in one direction. It will continue to trend in that direction. Only 20% of the time will it reverse. So the higher time frame trend is remarkably bullish. What that's going to present is anytime we do have a dip like this is a $5 red opening candle. I'm not saying that we're going to be bullish today, but either later in today, later into the afternoon. You can see it happen Tuesday this week. It happened Monday this week. It happened Friday last week. It happened Thursday last week. Anytime that we had a bearish stat for the IB, it was bought back up immediately because of that higher time frame analysis. Thursday last week, we had a bullish IB. We had a double break because some news came out. We went from 655 all the way down to 645, a $10 drop in 45 minutes. We gapped up and broke previous day's high before the following day's open, before Friday's open. So it's difficult mixing higher time frame analysis and lower time frame like today, but if I had to put money on it, I would say that this $5 drop is probably going to get bought up after the IB breaks today or into market open tomorrow. We'll have a gap up and probably make a new all-time high. When price is going to trend, it's going to trend when it switches bias. You're going to know it. And right now we're above yesterday's lows, so we're technically still making higher lows. Also technically making higher highs because it was a new all-time high into open today. It's just, do you mix those time frames? Do you not? Without these indicators, this is another question, James, for both of us. Without these indicators, would you be screwed in this market right now? The indicators that I wouldn't really call them indicators. They're just data points. Outside days, inside bars, gap fills. I would, and I say this all the time, I know that both James and I are partnered with edgeful, so it's a little biased, but I would not be as successful as I am right now without the stats from edgeful.
Yeah, they make them a lot easier, especially when data is changing all the time.
I wasn't nearly as successful without the edgeful stats. So I was getting payouts. I was doing like 7,000 a month, 6,000 a month in payouts, probably like 4,000 in profit after expenses, but that was just off of the London 50 model. With edgeful, I've started doing 20,000, 30,000 consistently. Now, this past month, I was at 4,000, so it was my lowest one of the year so far. But January, I did 27,000 in payouts. February, I did 43,000, and March, I ended up doing 27,500, and that was in the course of 2 weeks. I probably would have done a lot more had I not been transitioned to live with Lucid. But that genuinely, it's all thanks to these stats on edgeful. Inside bars, outside days, initial balance by rejection, initial balance by retracement. Without these, I wouldn't be able to have the added confidence in any of my trades.
I agree. Yes, rejecting that New York session VWAP at the moment.
So we do have a bearish IB to start. We don't have any data or catalyst that should inverse this that rapidly. So it's probably going to be a bearish IB for the rest of the day. We do have leading economic indicators at 10. That's it. This one isn't really that significant of a data point. Also, Andre made a great point on this yesterday. I don't know if you have any insight into this as well, James, but
sure,
data is not anywhere near as significant as it was 2 years ago. So when you guys go on to market day this week, yeah, exactly. When you go and look at market data, when you go and look at FinTwit, Financial Juice, whatever you get your data from, when we have CPI, PPI, NFP, Barometer, consumer confidence, anyone that's been trading for the past 2 years knows that those used to yield, what would you say, James, like a 2% move, 1% move?
Yeah. I mean, CPI used to move the market like a good amount, even NFP.
Yeah. And anyone that has even been in the prop space for the past 6 months, I'm sure you guys have all seen someone post the CPI strangle or CPI straddle, where you go long and short. You have a stop buy and a sell, a buy stop and a sell stop, like 20 points above and below price. That doesn't really work anymore because the market is not reading that data as significant as it used to, because the data isn't as significant as it used to be. And Andre mentioned yesterday we had 9% CPI 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or 4 years ago now. Holy smokes. Now our CPI is all the way down at 2.2, 2.5 in that range. So I don't really look at I still look at the data. I still look to see what data we have each week. It's not nearly as significant as it used to be. It doesn't have as much of an impact in the market. So there's no reason for us to anticipate that it's going to have that same impact that it used to. Also, another reason why you need to have stats like on these edgeful stats where I go and look at the 6-month time frame. The market is always evolving. The market's always changing. So if you benefit from back testing for 5 years, great. If not many people are going to. You need to look at each individual weekday, which you can. And I do the same thing every day. Thursday, IB by rejection. Okay, this is a 66%, 71% stat. If we go and look at IB by rejection for a Wednesday, you can see that on a Wednesday, it's 85 versus 83. Stats on a Wednesday, a lot higher than stats on a Thursday, so I may be more inclined to be a little bit more aggressive on a Wednesday.
Sure.
A little less aggressive on a Thursday. Each individual weekday matters a lot. And if you guys have been trading the IB for the past 2 months, Tuesdays suck. And that's visible on the stats. We have a 58% versus 41%, 64% versus 35%. This is pretty damn close to a coin flip. So there's no reason, there's no statistical advantage to me taking the IB on a Tuesday if the IB high forms first. Really not that much different for an IB low forming first.
Yeah, I agree. Like even when I first started trading, like 7, 8, well, I started trading 9 years ago, but like 8 years ago, people would wait for NFP and be like waiting to see a move. And now it doesn't really do too much. Oh, NQ really falling off here, probably because of that Meta down 9%. And Microsoft's also giving up gains here, down 4% as well. Google also pulling back down 5.6. It was up 7.5.
So when in my trading did I become confident enough to tell my wife to stop working? I told her to stop working like 2 years ago, but it's not as much of the trading profits, but it's kind of the drive behind it. Another reason I refer to successful traders like myself, James. Does your wife work, James?
She doesn't actually, but she's a lot smarter than me. She's got, she used to be like a special needs teacher, psychologist thing.
Hey, my wife too. So traders that trade for a purpose as opposed to just the money, and this isn't just trading, by the way, this is every profession there is. If you go and talk to anyone that's successful, they do not do it for the money.
Yeah.
Not a single person does it for the money. Every person that you talk to that has had some success or continues to have success, the money's a benefit. Yeah, it's really freaking nice getting a 10K payout or a 20K payout each month from futures trading. But the whole reason I'm able to do that is because I know that if I tilt regularly, if I tilt every day, which I still do tilt, that's going to happen, just so you know, that doesn't get any easier. But if I tilt, then that risked my, I can't say that word right now, that risked her going back to work, or me saying, hey, you have to go and find a job again, or I risk my house or my car. The purpose that I have to trade is X, Y, and Z. You need to trade for a purpose as opposed to trading for money. If you have more pressure on you, pressure is not a bad thing. You should be able to trade under pressure. If you're trading for money, you're not going to money in versus money out. The more you spend, the more you typically have come in. So you could be in the group on FinTwit that says, hey, trading futures is an ROI game. You need to go and spend a shit ton of money on $300,000 a month on prop firms, and you get $400,000 back. So you made $400,000 or $100,000 that month. Or you can be in the group that goes and spends $2,000 and makes $60,000 for the month. Your ROI is worlds better. Like James, I don't know, you've probably spent. Actually, you said you spent nothing on those FTMO accounts.
Yeah, well, I got the refunded. Yeah.
No, there's two different groups. The pressure that I have on me. Yeah.
I agree with you on that, Zink. A lot of people, we obviously get into it because you can make a lot of money, but I think to stay there, you don't have, money is not the reason why you stay.
Nope.
It's obviously nice to, as you said, get those 10K payouts every month and whatever it is, but it's, you got to have a bigger reason. Geez, thank you, down 240 now, 237 and still falling.
Holy free fall right now. What is going on? So what is my like morning open routine? It would be looking at everything that I have bookmarked here: the gap fill by size, inside bars, outside days, and then IB by rejection for the day. So I go and look at, and James, I know you do the same for pre-market prep too. I don't go and look through all the edgeful reports. I have pretty much two that I look at each day into open. So it's the inside bars or outside days. Those are your two outcomes. You're either gapped out of previous day's range, or you're gapped into previous day's range, or you're still within previous day's range. And then refer that to gap fill by size. So if we have a bearish gap, so let's say we have an actually just use today, for example, we have a bullish day, bullish outside day, we have a 70% chance to reverse that back down. Go and combine that with the gap fill by size, which again, I didn't look at this morning, which I'm kind of glad I didn't, because we gapped between 0.4 and 0.6. We only had a 23% chance to fill it, which we did. Those are the two that I look at each morning. It's either inside days, outside days, and then you add in the gap fill by size.
Yeah. I kind of have the same thing. I look at my one or two reports. I like using the previous day's range report and the opening candle continuation, which obviously can only wait until the open first. I'd like to front run it, just like Zinc does with the RB. Yeah, wow, this is setting off quite aggressively, bro. A big owly bar down.
Aggressive. Why do I get up so early to trade? Your brain takes an hour, usually, actually a little bit more. Depends on your sleep cycle. I don't know if anyone in here looks into circadian rhythms, but if I just go and do a quick lookup, how long does it take? So if you notice that you, and I used to do this too, it was really easy to do this on Top Step. Go into images. It should show your sleep cycles are how long is an adult sleep cycle. I used to do this on Top Step. I'd wake up at like 3 a.m. and I'd take a trade just for the hell of it because I wasn't thinking. Adult sleep cycle. Yep. So a sleep cycle is about 90 minutes. So if you wake up at the end of your sleep cycle, your brain is starting to wake up. Sorry, it should already be awake. If you wake up, tricky to do the math here. Let's say you have 5 sleep cycles for the night. So you're asleep for 450 minutes, whatever the math on that comes out to be. I can't think right now. 8 hours, almost 8 hours. If you wake up at 7 hours, you're technically still asleep for another hour because your sleep cycle just started at 90 minutes. So I wake up, and before I even trade anything, I want to be awake for at least an hour. So that's why I wake up at I've been waking up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. Yeah, I used to wake up in the middle of the night, and when I trade on Top Step, you can trade on your phone with Top Step X. Nice. I would wake up and I'd look at the chart and I'd be like squinting my eyes at it. Oh, I can take something right now. That'll be a quick X amount of money. Then next thing I know, I'm awake for the next 2 hours trying to revenge.
Yeah.
I do like shorts right now. Great quote from Spate right there. There's the Andre's 10 o'clock wiggle.
Yeah.
10 o'clock wiggle. I do like shorts. Probably. Now, there's no stat for this, so there's no extra draw, but we probably will go to previous day's low.
Yeah, down.
Which
down
is
at like
all the way down to 656. Maybe we will. We might not. We might just stop when we hit the IB. But what I did say right to open today with Thursdays, we wanted to see the IB high form first, which it is right now. That was our higher rate of success. Yeah, you are freezing again, James. Your eyes are stuck closed.
Oh, dude.
He explained it yesterday. It's because of the war going on, the conflict.
Yeah, it's pack. It's something to do with the packet loss. I had the guys come again literally like an hour and a half ago.
Dylan Williams said, circadian rhythm is such a real thing. Even only drinking caffeine 60 to 90 minutes after waking up makes a huge difference to sleep/wake cycle. I've seen melatonin release in the evening. Yeah, I used to not sleep very well at all, and I started looking into it quite a bit. Even my wife put a lot of emphasis on this too, but not having your phone next to you when you sleep interrupts your circadian rhythm because the frequency waves that go off your phone.
Yeah.
IMFs, I think is what they're called. Andre said, IB by rejection plus size is only around 53% chance to break the low. For the size of the one today? I don't think I've ever looked at IB by rejection plus the size added in, but let's... Are you sure you're not looking by IB by retracement? Because this is over 0.09. This is showing a 66% chance we're going to break the low because the size of the IB right now is 1.03. I usually just put in any size. It's more than enough for refining for me. We're getting 10 a.m. reversal. I don't know how many people are familiar with ICT, but that's also a significant kill zone. I think it's the correct term. I looked into ICT a decent bit, but it's too confusing. I'm familiar with what the terms are. I couldn't tell you how most of them work, though. I just know that from Leo, he's told me a lot about the 10 a.m. time frame. Leo and T-Trades both. The 10 a.m. time frame, you usually there's either a continuation or there's a reversal. Yesterday we had a reversal, small reversal. It just ended up being a wiggle, and then it was a continuation. Today, this is looking more like a reversal. And this isn't me explaining this, so please do not try to learn something from this. But what I've been told is that you look for the 10 a.m. time frame. You either get the reversal or continuation lower. For a reversal signature, you want to see an inverse fair value gap on the 1 minute. Again, this is all very confusing stuff that I don't understand for ICT because I haven't put the work into it, but that's how two of the most successful guys that I know that trade use that 10 a.m. time frame. They look for an inverse fair value gap on the 10 a.m. time frame on the 1 minute. I'm selecting initial balance by size, 0.6 to 0.089. Our IB size right now is 1.03. So we're in the last bracket on the IB. I've never refined it down to the size by the IB by rejection, though. AMD's, do I even want to see what AMD's price is? Oh, God.
344.
Oh, this makes me so sad. I mean, if you think a tech bubble is going to pop, you're going to be waiting for years and years, like our dear friend Michael Burry. I had AMDL shares at $3 April last year. 1,000% on those. Even if you'd bought them April of this year, holy hell. 12 from April 6th to present, past 24 days, $12 up to 33. That's a 200% increase. My God. This is so sad to see. I had MU shares at 95. I had AMD shares at like 70 something. Last May I had Soxel shares at 14. 12 to 14 were my two ads. It's at 120 now. That is devastating. Well, hopefully we get those individual stock futures here relatively soon, because I am eager to go and trade those. Why do we tend to full port when we wake up in the morning? I think it's a phase that everyone has to go through. It's exactly what I just said. Your brain's not awake, so you're not rationally thinking. Like, what happens when? This will be a good example for it. How many people in here have had? I am gonna take the IB today, Nico. I just have to wait another like 15 minutes. 10:23 is my entry. How many people remember getting woken up by your parents abruptly on like a Saturday, Sunday morning, saying that you have to go do something in 30 minutes and you have no idea what's going on? Or you wake someone else up and they just say the weirdest stuff when they wake up. You wake them up and you're like, come on, we have to go, even from a nap. And they're like, what? Huh? What time is it?
Yeah.
So when you do, imagine doing that, which again, I've done it. I think probably everyone that's traded ever has done it. You wake up and you're like, oh, I'm feeling a little lucky. Your brain's not working. Your brain's still asleep. So all your risk parameters or your personal risk parameters in your head, everything that you usually think when you're in a trade at, like the one we're about to take in the next 10 minutes, everything you think about when you typically get into a trade, that's not there. So you wake up and you're like, oh yeah, price is going this way, I'm going to do this. Feeling lucky. Everyone's done that at one point or the other.
That's why you gotta have the max loss rules on your account, dude.
That's why I try to walk away from the screen. So the question was, how do I enter a trade and not get worried that's going to go to the stop loss? I still do, but if you're actively watching every tick on that trade, every cent that it's moving, you're not going to allow the trade to develop at all. So you enter the trade, every trade has a plan associated with it. Every successful trade should. James, for instance, my trades, I take the IB at the IB 50. My stop loss is at for today's example, IB high, take profit at IB low. That's it. That's the trade plan. I'm either in the trade until it gets stopped out, or I'm in the trade until it hits TP. Now, I know I'm saying that without being in a trade. I still do alter it because I have human emotions involved. I'm sure, James, you do the same thing with your VWAP trades.
Yeah.
You enter your trade, you say, I'm going to take profit when it climbs X amount above VWAP, and then you end up taking profit like 20 points before it hits your full TP. Still happy with the profits. It's very difficult to see. Andre talks about this all the time too. you're up 500% on a trade. How are you going to let that trade run to 1,000% without securing profits along the way? So it's very, very, very difficult to allow a trade to run to full TP unless you either get knocked out or you're so incredibly confident in the trade running to full TP that you don't adjust it at all. 26,900s. I don't think we're going to get that low today.
Oh, that'll be another 300 points.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to drop that much. That would be like a negative 2% day, negative 2.5. When I enter trades, I like to switch the tab. That's as simple as that. So I'll enter on, you'll see coming up here shortly. Hopefully we get an entry today. I'll enter short on M and Q, and then I'll go and swap and watch the QQQ chart because they're the same thing. But the only difference is on this QQQ chart, I don't have the profit or loss constantly fluctuating. So I'm not going to be urgent with the trade. Unfortunately, on Tradevate, you can't change the colors of your profit or your loss. It's green or red. So when you see green and red flashing in the bottom left, same thing as traffic lights, it triggers urgency in your brain. That's why you make rash decisions. A lot of psychology-based stuff today we've been discussing. I was going to pull something. Oh, gold. I was going to take a look at gold. Could take a short on gold today. On that point, this is the main reason that edgeful works so well for me is because with the stats, again, we're taking a look at Thursday. For the IB by rejection, my stress in the trade is not based on the chart anymore. My stress in the trade is based on the numbers. I don't have any stress within myself because I know that these numbers statistically should play this amount of time, or this amount of time, 71.3% of the time. I know the IB is going to take the IB low when the IB high forms first. 66.6% of the time, I know the IB low forming first is going to signal an IB high breaking on a Thursday. For today, we have the IB high form first. We have the IB low form second. I know that 71% of the time, the IB low is going to get taken first. That's where my stress is on the trade now. I'm no longer stressing about the trade going up or down because I'm not guessing on the chart. I know that it should go to this price target because this is what the stats is telling us. These are what the stats are telling us. That's a good one, Mr. Smith. I know our dermatologist that constantly makes rash decisions. Could maybe get another IB25 entry. I know I always say that I don't enter at the 25. That's Dan's trade. But it's lining up decently well for us right now. As I said that, it rejects down 50 cents. Uh, 423 Globex gap. Are we headed there? I don't look at gaps that far out, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, that's it's a week ago.
The only gaps that I look at are the day-to-day ones. That's it. Yeah, my bad. I jinxed price going in the direction we were looking for. Oops.
Yeah, I'm still watching here, I think. Does look like I do want to continue lower higher.
Yep. I wish we did. All right, we want to see 712.70 or 661.79. I might take a short on golds because that one's looking a lot better. And this would be a 1 MGC risk. So that's our IB for today on gold. We just rejected the midpoint. I want to see price get to 4634. IB low is 4621. So it would be $130 risk, $130 risk reward on that. Trend is definitely down. The reason I'm looking at gold is because I don't think we're going to get an entry on Qs. This is going to keep free falling right here. Previous day's low is the only other draw that I imagine we could go to.
I've got a small position on ES short at the moment.
Nice.
On 62.50. Nasdaq's well 170.
YM still going up, by the way. What the heck?
Yeah, YM new half day. Interesting.
What?
Yeah.
I know I might get some flack from James here, but that's why I don't look at YM at all.
Yeah.
If you're looking at YM, you are clinging on for dear life to longs.
Yeah. And then as soon as you buy it, it reverses.
No, I do not look at YM at all. Brian said zinc MES looks more plausible. Yeah, it's a lot closer to the 50.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying a short on it.
712.57. We have 11 minutes for the IB. Yesterday's a decent example of it. If gold closes over the 50, I'm not going to take it. We still have 11 minutes, so notice I'm not jumping into the trade quite yet. Gold, I have a love-hate relationship with it during New York. If we look at the stats for gold today, for Thursday, we have a 63% chance, so I guess it's not that likely. The IB is still forming. We could definitely go and take a new high. This one's a pretty low risk, at least. It's $130, 13 points. Ideally, I'd like to trade it on SPY, though. Would be a little bit better. Feels like gold at least wants to take out open first. I honestly couldn't tell you what gold likes to do on a regular basis. I don't trade it during New York enough. I do like trading the gold IB overnight, though. That one usually works out decently well for me. New York gold just does not agree with... She doesn't like me. Doesn't agree with me. Atta girl, SPY. Keep going. If SPY gets up to the 50, 712.57, 70 cents away, I'll take the shorts on there. Our MES range should be like 30 points. So $150 risk reward. Let's see. That's our IB. Midpoint 7178, low 7156, 22 points, $110 risk reward. So you can go in with 2 micros on MES.
Yeah.
How come MGC and gold stats are so different? Because there's slippage. It's quite a bit of slippage on gold. MGC might be the one that's a little more accurate because the ticks move a lot more than gold trading at 440, 420. But I always use the trading view assets, gold, QQQ, SPY, DIA, because the slippage on MNQ or GC is quite bad. And I think I finally figured out yesterday on SPY when because SPY almost took the low. SPY actually did take the low a lot earlier than MES did. MES finally took the low like 2 minutes after SPY, but SPY can move 10 cents without MES or ES moving a point. I think it starts moving a point at 12 cents or half a tick at 12 cents. And that's just based on the share price. The lower SPY is, the more lined up they are. But since SPY is trading at 7-11 now, the correlation isn't as much.
Yeah,
Dow up a cool 1,000 points since London low.
Yeah. Must be something moving in it. Yeah, ES is actually at a nice point to short as well.
Does Dow have AMD in it by chance?
I don't believe so. No, it doesn't look
gold's
like
not
it.
looking too bad now. We got 7 minutes left on it. If it's right at the midpoint, I wouldn't mind taking it. Make sure I go down to 5. I'm not going to risk too much on this. Come on, SPY. A little bit more for me. Just a little bit more.
Yeah, I got my stop way up near opening, near previous day's highs.
I'm going to put a sell limit in for 2 MES at the 50. Sell 10 limit at 7179. And then I'll put the buy 10 stop at 7.2. So a 21-point risk. We'll see how this goes. IB50. $220 risk. It's a limit sell, by the way, so that wasn't a market order. Zara Trader said DAX was crazy fun today.
DAX, let's have a look. Yeah, that thing just ripped. Yeah.
I might avoid gold. The stats aren't really that good. 63%. Yeah, 63.6 isn't really that ideal of a stat for a Thursday. Last Thursday it won. Thursday before that it won. Lost. 1-1-1. 1 lost. Maybe we could take it. Maybe thinking a little too much. I'm good with the MES one.
Yeah, I like the shorts on the ES. That's why I'm in them at the moment, just as a plus, like a directional play, not really, as trying to snap a quick scalp.
If it could let me in, that'd be great. MNQ's range is a little too big for me to trade today. So we're looking at from the midpoint 160 points, so $320 risk reward on 1 micro. It's a little too much, especially for anyone on 25K accounts. Even the 50K accounts, that's 240 is what I'm trying to risk per trade. So this one fits my parameters perfectly. 220 for the risk. VIX crashing. Now, before I go and look at VIX, how confident are you in the usage of that word crashing? So if I go and look at it and it's down 20 cents, you and I are going to have a problem. I know this is delayed still, but I wouldn't really say crashing for that. Gold also has a pretty... no, I'm not going to take it on gold. See if we get the entry on SPY or not.
Yeah. I would have liked to get a better price, but I'm just playing the directional placing. That's my ES at the moment.
Sorry, I missed your question, Sam. Did you get a new account? Yeah, I ended up losing the other Lucid Live accounts last week. So these are the Lucid Max, which is a move to live. I shouldn't have tilted anyway.
RV25.
I just outright lost the accounts. Yeah. And then I ended up tilting, trying to make it back.
What, like trading like Asian session?
Yep.
Am I? Yes. So looks decent here.
Can you let me get in first, James? IB25 NQ short goated. That was a perfect entry. The size of the range, you can probably be okay going with the 25 with how big today's range is, but I still prefer to get that IB50 entry. I swear, every time I go for the IB25 entry, it ends up pulling back to the IB50, and I get stopped out in the first entry. Then the second one didn't win, so I end up making a quarter of what I should on the day for no reason. And it happens regularly. It happens all the time. My first payout was, geez, I don't remember. It was from Top Step, funny enough. And it was, I can't remember the date on it. It was 7,500 from Top Step. I think it was like 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago.
That's a big first payout, bro.
Yeah, it was incredible. I had to have taken 2 years. No, it's, if I had gone a different route, like Pipsy, I'm not shedding anything bad on you in here, but you learn from the right people. But I'd say your spend was probably also a little bit more, right? With the path that you're going now. When I started, when I started trading futures, I was working as a part-time, I mowed lawns at a rec department in my college town. That's what I was doing. So I didn't really have money to go and blow on evals. So I had one set of 5 accounts. I had 5 accounts that I traded very respectably for several months. And I think if you guys remember, I don't know how many people in here might, Top Step used to do 90% off discounts for the evals. So I was paying $450 a month for those accounts. That's why I was going so slow. And that was on the old Top Step dashboard. I can actually, I'll log in off screen so you guys I can get all my numbers right. Top Step OG dashboard, the legacy dashboard. If I can remember my login. I honestly have no idea what my login is. Oh, there we go. I got in. This thing's probably going to be pretty slow since it's decommissioned. Okay.
Are you in with me?
Not yet. Didn't get filled. My limit sell at the 50. All right. So this was my first payout from Top Step was April of 2024. So it was, it was probably, I'm looking at the payments. I don't know if they go any further back than this. They should have more than this, but my first payment to Top Step was 2022. And it was a 50K trading combine, payment amount $4.50.
Peace.
Here, I'll put a screenshot of it on the screen. Yep. I don't really care about the invoice number and everything, but I'll put it on my screen right now. About to get filled short, by the way. Tick me in.
Yeah, much better
There
price.
we go. Got filled. So filled short, we're looking for IB low. I-10 limit at the IB low. Now we'll go over and watch SPY. Gold also hit that rejection point. Okay. This is my first. This was my first order on Top Step. It's on my screen right now. $4.50 for a 50K trading combine. They used to do, I don't remember what it was called. It was years ago. They haven't done one of these, like, I don't know how long. I think, actually, if you want to reach out to, in the Discord, his name's WB Wyatt. He still has an account at $4.50 a month from Top Step that he just uses to look at price on Top Step X. That's it. But this was back from 2022. They used to do flash sales on their Top Step TV where they would do 90% off codes. But they no longer do those, sadly.
Yeah, I remember that actually. They used to do like fire
drills. There we go, XD. You got it. Fire drills. The old school $4.50 combines. It was 90% off. The combines were $45. It was 90% off fire sale. That's right. Stop loss for this trade is the IB high, 7200.75. TP is 7156. We have a 73% chance to go and hit the IB low for SPY. IB high form first on a Thursday, 75% likelihood that we go and take the low. That's our entry. Gold, hindsight, son of a gun. Gold would have been a really nice one. Especially if NQ goes and takes it here, that'd be nice. I'm going to try to refrain from going and constantly checking. Thanks, Chief. Read that as Chef for a minute. That was 2 years ago. I'm looking at the timestamp on it right now. It's 2022, March of 2022. And then I had payments from all the way then. I only have 20 pages. It stops at March of 2024. That was the last time I paid for them.
I'm running a short on NQ as well with small size as well.
Up 85 right now, halfway to TP.
Yeah, it's looking good. What was your entry price? 178.
My entry was 7179.
Okay, nice.
Exactly what I was saying, though. Every time you don't think it's going to go and hit the IB 50, it does. Nico said, I don't scale in the trades. Nico said, WTF, $5 for an eval. The glory days, man.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
It was $5 until you passed it, and then you lost that discount. So it took me what looks like 8 months to pass it. I wouldn't have taken that long if I was paying the full $45 a month, but I was paying $22.50 a month for 5 accounts from Top Step.
Jeez.
Kind of funny. All right, let's go to the full TP, please. IB50, yes, goaded. That it is. Could definitely secure already, but I'm going to try to let it run to full TP. Yeah, look at that MGC trade. That would have been beautiful. All coming from hindsight, the best traders in the world. When Topstep first offered Project X, they had a $4.50 Memorial Day sale and 50Ks for those that were selected. I had those for a long time on Veterans Day. I remember I traded Topstep on Tradeovate when I first started. That was all that was offered with them. If Q's goes and takes the IB low, I'm going to secure the trade on SPY, just so everyone knows.
I'm up a nice, was my entry on NQ here, Zinc, on the better price. I got a better price on that. So I'm up 50 points. I'm going to secure some here and try and trail.
Very nice.
Just right off the opening range low, as soon as it bounced. Now we look like we're flushing here, Zinc. Wow.
I'll leave it on this tab. Curious about Microsoft's 65425 calls and what we expect for IB going tomorrow and later in this week. IB, the implied volatility should already be decayed out because earnings is already done. We're not going to have any more increase on that. Again, if Q's goes and takes the IB low, I'm going to secure the trade on SPY because it just doesn't have as much of a draw when one of them's targeting the low and the other one's already done.
So I took 75% off on NQ. I'm still holding 25, and then I'm still with my ES trade. Zinc.
Nice. As long as Trump doesn't come out and say anything that screws me, I'm okay. If he could not take a bathroom break for the next couple of minutes, that would be fantastic. Bouncing off IB25. Like right now, because I'm looking at it at 130, I very badly want to go and secure it. Q is about to go and take the IB low.
Yep, here comes ES as well.
Yeah, whatever. I'm so bad. I took it. I secured the 130.
Nice.
Out for 130 profit. I can't. It's not my confidence in the strategy. It's just I see the profit on the screen and I'm so used to. I can't not secure it. So I guess that technically was a negative risk reward trade, but still a really good entry. Out for 130 profit.
Yeah.
And then it goes and shoots up. Nice. That trade was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes. 9 minutes for 130 times 5. Not too bad. All right, I'm going to get up and go get some water real quick. I will be back shortly.
Yeah, I can get let's get so I'm still in the ES. I did secure on NQ, but yeah, still in ES shorts as well. So I think I didn't get a great entry price personally on on ES compared to NQ. NQ came right off of that opening range low for me, which obviously was a much better entry price on the pullback. Maybe it could have been a little bit more patient on ES. But yeah, we'll see what how this wants to play out. So look, in YM's actually still moving higher through a week there now. So still looks good. I've got my stop at break even on the rest on NQ. What's your TP? Well, I took off a low day. I would like to get down to previous day's lows, extended hours. So down at 094, 20, so call it 27,100.
I kind of hope the IB doesn't work today, so I seem like a genius with that TP secure.
Hey, I need to take profits with too.
I could go and make a post later. This is why I secured the IB instead of at the IB low. You could get back in. I probably won't. I'm up 400, 395 on the day, but you definitely could get back in. Brian said SOB everyone covered when Zinc did, and it shot up. One of my lots near break even. What's my win streak right now? Not very much.
Put yours.
Whoops. My bad. All the people that secured their sim profits with me shot the price up. Yeah, lock it up. You're up 974. Lock it out for the day. All the positions I talk about too. This is still a sim account, but it's halfway to getting move live again. There is no reason not. I mean, it's 400 times 5 accounts, $2,000 in the day. It's also another reason I like securing 130. Yes, on one account doesn't seem. It's still a lot of money, but 130 on one account, not very much. 130 over 5 accounts, we're looking at a $650 trade.
Yeah, scaling.
No, the only play on edgeful right now would just be the IB. It's still intact. You can still definitely take the trade, but I just secured it because it already had its reaction. If it doesn't, another rule that I've started implementing is if it doesn't take the trade by 11 o'clock, if you're still stuck in the middle of the IB by 11 o'clock, then it's probably not that good of a trade to go and take. And then one other stipulation as well. This one's a little tricky. If price is a couple cents off of breaking the IB low, had I taken the trade on Qs, I definitely would have secured it as well. If the price is a couple cents off taking IB low and it doesn't, and then it goes and reverses, don't take the trade or secure the full TP and just move on. QQQ didn't take the IB low. I don't really have a validation for why I secured the profits. I just 125, 130, so you didn't take it. No one has ever gone broke. There will never be any unprofitable traders who take profit when they see it. That's probably wrong to say. There will still be people, but if you have a somewhat mechanical approach.
Sure.
I know. No. Oops. Yeah, it's kind of. I see the issue there. What they just said, James, was 30 minutes ago. Where I was just talking about letting trades run and not watching them.
Yeah.
I would take the profit on it.
Yeah, that's funny. But I mean, good profit taking.
Oops. You blame me.
That's hilarious.
Oops, my bad. Might be, guys.
So I got tagged at break even on my trail on NQ, but I'm thinking of I'm just gonna watch to see what it does in the next 15, 20.
That could be a real dick about. How did you not know price was going to bounce there? Secure your profits. Secure your profits.
Oh, it was so obvious, man.
It was so obvious. Like, look at it. You just know. Look, the candles are green. You should know it's going up. XSD says doubtful the 100 people watching this move the market like that. Next time, do a countdown. Everyone flat on 3, 2, 1. It did bounce almost immediately after I sold it, but I did have enough time to type it out. So it wasn't that fast. My bad, guys. You can blame me. I'll take the blame today. Maybe I should alter what I was talking about earlier. In terms of the profit taking, maybe this current market, you don't let trades run all the way.
Especially when you are shorting, maybe.
You can kind of say there was a bullish bounce on a 1 minute order block. Oh, you want to start whipping out the ICT terms, do you? Yeah, so James, there was a 1 minute inverse for value gap with a change of state of delivery, and we had the 11 a.m. reversal.
I don't understand.
I know if Andre was in here, he would have told me to do the same thing. So I'm not too upset. I think you and I actually both told Andre to do the same thing earlier this week. I bet it's gonna play out still. Q's isn't anywhere near.
Yeah, I actually still like the price that it's at personally, but yeah, we'll see.
Peep AMD again. Don't do that to me. It's not doing that much today. It's pretty flat. That should go and take the IBI though. I used to once upon a time. I didn't trust Lisa Sue. Should have. So if you guys have edgeful, that was aggressive. If you have edgeful, this is the one set of stats that has allowed me to take those 20,000, 25,000 in payouts in the past couple of months. just looking at the IB or rejection and going into customize weekdays to use, customizing it to the weekday, and knowing which weekdays to hammer, which ones not to. So if you go and look at Tuesday, for example, from this week, I didn't take the trade on Tuesday for QQQ because the data told me not to. 58 versus 41%. There's no statistical advantage in taking an IB that looks like that versus taking the IB today on MES, which we just did. This is telling us we have a 75% chance to go and take the low. Sure. Now I know it's not looking that good now. We did get a pretty nice reaction immediately after the IB, hitting the IB 50 and then right back down. As I was just saying, if it's a couple cents away, Q's securing it's okay. Obviously, this is all coming from hindsight. So anyone that's still in the trade, I'm sorry the IB is not working out too well in SPY. If it does end up going and reversing, then I'm very happy with securing the profits where I did. I know I was just talking about letting trades run, but also current market may be a little more difficult for me to make that point in. I do feel kind of bad that I was talking about letting trades run and getting up and walking away, and then this happens. I've had, in the past 3 weeks, I've had 3 trades that I've moved to break even. I've even asked people in the Discord to help me with this because every time I move a trade to break even, today would have been a perfect example. If I move that stop loss to break even, I turned a $130 profit trade into nothing. So it's still the evolving risk reward factor.
NQ. Yeah, so NQ tagged me at the risk at break even. I don't really like that. Should have probably taken all of it.
This is a pretty nasty reversal back up.
Yeah, should have probably taken all of it. All of it off. Should have listened to you. Should have been aggressive on that profit taking.
It's not very often that I get a lucky exit like that where it happens to be the lowest that went. I missed maybe like $5 on that. That's secure.
Sure.
I missed 2 points, $15. Does look like it's going to go and validate the high now. Bears trap. Did you take another trade earlier today or last night? I took the Globex IB from last night. 25% tapped on SPY. And I went over to M&Q. Had 4 M&Q. This is a $240 risk. I went in a little aggressive with this one because we had all the news coming out last night. Earnings were all bullish. Powell staying on the Fed board was all bullish. Ed Pan said, question, James, between step 1 or step 2 on FTMO, what do you prefer?
I take the 2-step personally because of the static drawdown. I mean, if you want to get the trading drawdown, I think futures is, I think at the instant fund it's there. But yeah, I personally do the 2-step. I've never taken a 1-step with FTMO.
Did we have any slippage on M&Q by chance? No, we didn't. I was going to say, if M&Q somehow, or NQ even slipped and took that IB low, that would make sense for why we're bouncing like we are right now. Let's see, MCL. Yeah, that one was pretty good. I almost took a new IB low, but that was... You had your entry below the IB, just based on if you take it or not. I don't know how many people would there. If you go with CFDs, the only advantage is static. If you go trailing with futures, the environment is way better. Yeah. Futures has a lot better risk reward to it than CFDs.
Yeah, potentially, because the accounts are cheaper.
Yeah.
But I would say it's a little bit easier to keep your accounts on CFDs with the two-step. Because you don't have to build up a buffer.
I think the biggest advantage would be, so your risk parameters on CFDs, and please correct me if I'm wrong in any of this. Like if you want to make 200 on a trade, let's say you risk 200. You can somewhat do the same thing on futures, but the benefit to futures is that you can take a mini and let that thing run forever, and you could risk 200 and make like 4,000, which you could technically do on CFDs too, but
I
think it'd be a tad bit more difficult. Oh, sorry about the IB right now, guys, but not too upset with my profit secure now. Can I please explain slippage? Slippage is between the parent asset and the sister assets. So technically NQ is the parent and MNQ is the sister, as well as any other smaller ones. I don't know if there's anything smaller than MNQ. So MNQ is based on NQ. Technically, they're all based on QQQ because these were a thing before futures were. Futures were originally just for like grain and non-tradable digital assets. So like grain, cattle, poultry, stuff like that. For QQQ, this is the same as trading NQ or MNQ. The only thing is on QQQ, it's a little bit more accurate because there's a lot more volume and it's shares that are traded 24/7. For MNQ, it can possibly slip up. I've seen it slip up to like 12 points before, if not a little bit more. And that is just the divergence between the parent asset and MNQ. And there's not really anything that you can do about it, unfortunately. You can't go and say, I'm not going to trade it this way because of X reason. Slippage just happens. If it's a low volume day, there's going to be a lot more slippage.
Yeah, like on bank holidays, right?
I don't know what Ko is laughing about. Because I said sorry, guys. I secured, I think it was maybe a minute, but IB still worked for me today. Is it safe to say if SPY takes the IB high, QQQ will follow? Does that play into the stat that 0 times both are wrong? That was for when they're diverged. Typically, yes. If SPY goes and takes the IB high right now, QQQ should follow. It's unlikely that one of them ends up being wrong and the other one plays out correctly. They'll both be wrong. If they're both wrong, they're both wrong.
NQ back at daily VWAP now, so I'm interested potentially.
Could still reject. The FOMC flip is based on how FOMC closes.
Yeah.
See, there you have it. Shrinkage does happen. What's going on, RLRB? FOMC closed bullish yesterday, so we should have had a bearish day today. I did touch upon this a little bit at the beginning of the stream with macro timeframes, although I don't really use them. But I did mention with this pretty massive drop on Qs, our macro time frame is stupidly bullish. So even with Qs pushing down like this, it's a lot more difficult for us to sustain downside when this is going to be seen as a phenomenal buying opportunity into the dip. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a reason behind why I secured those profits where I did. It just happened to be a very good exit. But obviously, it's not looking like it's working out right now. Is that over daily VWAP now?
Yeah, it's like NQ slightly over daily view up now. Yeah,
SPY's
daily view
definitely
up.
gonna take the high.
350. Yeah, 355 daily view up.
Wow, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
What a pivot.
Yeah, off those lows.
All right, guys, we are at 11 o'clock. Secured our profits early. Thankfully, it ended up playing out perfectly today.
Yeah.
Not really sure how I should go and recap this, but
I
I
took profit.
apologize for anyone that may have missed that. Anything from you, James, before we head out?
Yeah, I'm good. If you're good.
Oh, you got it at the same time. Very nice. All right, I will see you guys next week. James will see you tomorrow with Andre.
I'll be on
Have
tomorrow.
a great rest of your Thursday. Peace out, guys.